Let's talk about creating value in terms of knowing your intentions. So, what are intentions? Intentions are things that you put out there to the universe that hopefully come true eventually. For example, I can start with something very simple. I wake up in the morning and I intend to get out of bed. And then I intend to take a shower. And then I intend to make coffee. So those are my intentions. As I put each intention out there, the intention comes true because I'm able to easily live into each intention and fulfill it because those are very simple intentions that I'm able to accomplish in the moment. When we get into life coaching, we get into intentions that are more complex and more all-encompassing and have greater repercussions if we either follow through or don't follow through with them. For example, your intention can be to come in and revolutionize a company. Maybe that's what they're hiring you to do. They're hiring you to get everything in order, especially the person you're working with, and really recreate everything from the ground up. The intention is there for you to do something. So intentions are very important and very powerful. With them, you can do tremendous things. You can make a lot happen. Without them, probably not. Probably not much is going to happen at all because there's not the initial intention. I know people who, before a business meeting of any kind, will have a moment and focus on their intentions. What is their intention for that meeting? It's sort of like a meditation. And when you do this, even in something small like a business meeting, you realize that you're building a series of intentions, and usually what you intend, you at least remember during the meeting. Wait a minute, I remember I intended to get this contract signed during the meeting. That's what I'm here for. That's my intention. Let's get back to focusing on that. So you at least remember your focus. And if you do this over time, you live a life of intention. Let's talk about an anticipated outcome that is intended or that guides your planned actions. Now, I've already talked about this a little bit. The anticipated outcome, remember the example, going into the meeting, having the idea that in the meeting there's going to be the signing of the contract, for example, or it can be anything. Maybe you want to make a specific contact in the meeting. You want to make yourself known to someone in your industry who you can work with. This person will be instrumental in the next level of your career or what have you. Or maybe you're working with your client and for the meeting, you want them to be able to present their new idea. That's your intention for them for the meeting. But it's important that you understand the anticipated outcome part of this. It's an anticipated outcome that is intended or that guides your planned actions. So when you have an intention, you are actually expecting to win. You're anticipating the outcome. It's not as if it's something you would like to happen or you think might happen or wouldn't it be great if that happened, and then you keep thinking about it and hoping for it and so forth. It's not of that nature. It's something that's much more proactive than that. It's something where ahead of time you realize, I want this. This is what I want. And it's very clear in your mind. It's a very set thing that's going to happen. And more importantly, you anticipate that it will happen. You fully expect for it to happen. And when you share this with your client, the power of intention, getting them to start intending things, then you have given them a tremendous gift. And remember, a lot of what you're doing is empowering your client. You're giving them the ability, the gift, the power to do what you do for them. So you're doing things for them, but really your goal is to get them to do those things for themselves. You don't want them to be dependent upon you forever. You want them to learn these skills that you have. So teaching them that when they go into a situation, they should intend to get what they want, that's a very valuable tool. Think about Donald Trump or any other person you may respect in business. When they go into a situation, they expect to win. They don't expect to maybe get what they want or maybe not, or for people to kind of think about giving them what they want. No, they expect to get exactly what they want. Their expectations are reasonable, meaning that they fully know they can achieve them. It may not seem reasonable to the average person, but they are reasonable to that person because they know they can get it, and they do. Let's take a look at how to communicate your intentions to your clients. Now, you're going to have intentions that benefit them. It's not as if you're going to have a list of things such as, oh, I want to make more money from you, and I want to retire at a certain age, and so forth and so on. Those aren't the intentions that you're communicating to your clients. The intentions that you're communicating to them are the intentions that benefit them or whatever it is they're doing in their personal lives or their professional lives or both. Your intentions are your best wishes for them, but they're beyond wishes because intentions, as you already know, are anticipated outcomes. You expect them to win. So it all starts with you figuring out what they're trying to do. And once you figure that out, you can look at the plan and say, okay, here's what's going on. Here's what I see. Here's how we can change that, or here's how we can get you focused on that. And as you achieve each goal or win each battle or jump each hurdle, however you want to look at it, you are living into that intention and you are reinforcing the idea in your subconscious mind that you're a winner. You get things done. Your intentions come true. And it really doesn't take a superhuman to do this. So I don't want you to set it up as, well, there's this skill that you can learn, and if you're really up for it, that I think maybe you can master it. No, it's something that everyone can do. We all do it every day. As I started out saying, you have to intend to get out of bed. You have to intend to take a shower. You have to intend to make coffee or go buy coffee or intend to get in your car and drive to work or whatever you are doing, you intend to do it and you expect it to work out. When you think about getting out of bed in the morning, you expect to win. You expect your feet to land on the ground and for yourself to get out of bed and for that to work out. So you start out the day on a positive foot, so to speak, every day. That is the same concept that we're using when you go into a meeting and you expect to get a multi-million-dollar contract signed or you expect your client to get that. You have intentions for your client, intentions that are going to come true. So it's not some metaphysical concept. It's something that's normal and natural. Let's talk about the coaching model in terms of the big picture. And I want to talk about your inner circle and self-awareness. Your inner circle, if you were to think of a series of circles, we're going to talk about a series of circles, but your very inner circle, the very center of everything in your coaching model is self-awareness. Self-awareness, being aware of yourself. And I want you to teach this to your client also. Your self-awareness is very important to you. So you should always work on your self-awareness, being aware of what you're doing, of who you are, of what your intentions are, of where you're going, of how you're feeling, of whether or not you're in the right situation, and so forth. That's your very inner circle. So I want you to be self-aware through meditation or just introspection or self-reflection every now and then, or however you accomplish that. I want you to become self-aware, aware of yourself. Sometimes we know everybody else and what everybody else needs, but we neglect ourselves. We don't really know ourselves. We don't really get to know what we need or who we are or how we even feel about a situation. Sometimes we block that. We move forward in our lives. We block the feelings of really how we feel in any particular situation. So develop self-awareness, but I also want you to coach your clients to see the big picture, which starts with them. It starts with self-awareness. Now, realize, as I've said, not every client's going to be up for this. Sometimes you're going to walk into a situation, the client's going to say, oh, that self-awareness stuff is nice, but here's what you need to do today. Here's A, B, and C, and you need to do that. Self-awareness is nice, and maybe we'll talk about that some other time. But I want you to, with your clients who are open for it, to work on their self-awareness. Get them to be aware of what's going on within them. How do they actually feel? Have they even taken time to look at the situation within to see how they feel about what's going on, if they are really invested emotionally and so forth in what they're doing, if they feel that it's leading to the places they want to be in their mind and their spirit and their lives, financially, with family and so forth. How do they feel, and do they really feel calm inside? Do they feel that everything's going the right way? So self-awareness is where everything begins in the coaching model when we start looking at the big picture. The big picture starts with you, and with your client, it starts with them. The second circle going out, if we were to draw circles on a board, the second circle going outward would be the needs, values, and beliefs. Once we understand ourselves, then we understand what we need, what our values are, and what we believe. And this is very, very important. And it has a lot to do with self-awareness. Realize that if we were to draw this out, self-awareness would be contained within the second circle. It would be the pinpoint of it, if you will, the very center of it. So self-awareness is part of this. But as we extend out a little bit, we realize that we have needs in the environment. We have needs for connection. We have needs for financial security. Remember Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We start out with the basic needs. Abraham Maslow was a psychologist who discovered that we have needs. And we have, first of all, basic needs for shelter and so forth, and we move all the way up to self-awareness. But some of our needs have to do with things that we get from the outside environment, things that we pull towards us. And these have to do with our basic needs, and they also have to do with our values. What do we really value? Are we religious? Sometimes you'll be dealing with clients who are religious, and that is where they put their stock. That's what they focus on. And if you violate that, you try to get them to do things that go against their religion in some way. For example, saying, oh, you don't need to go to church on Wednesday night or Sunday night. You can just work harder instead. Well, you're going to lose them, and they're going to lose you. So you need to realize that people have values, religious and otherwise. They have beliefs. They have perhaps a value that puts their family first. No matter what's going on in business, their family's first. So if you're saying, hey, you should go to this seminar, yet their son has a soccer game, and you say, what are you talking about? You need to go to this seminar. That's where you're going to meet the important people. And they say, what are you talking about? My son has a soccer game. I would never miss that. And you start to butt heads. Guess who's going to lose? You, because you failed to acknowledge their values. They value certain things. And really, working within their values is going to be the most powerful way to get things done. One of my good friends in Los Angeles is a real estate person, and he goes to church every morning at 6 a.m. He's Catholic. He goes to church every morning at 6 a.m. I didn't even know they had Catholic services every morning at 6 a.m., but apparently they do, and he goes every day. This actually helps him. It starts his day off on the right foot. So you may be thinking, well, he could be using that time for other things, or he could be sleeping in and getting rest so he'll be more powerful in business. But none of those things are true. What's true is that gives him the energy he needs. That's the focus of his life, that and his family, and gives him the energy he needs. So work within the needs, values, and beliefs of your client. The third circle moving out is exploring options and taking action. Once you understand yourself, and once you've got your needs and beliefs and values in order, and you've helped your client to do that, more importantly, then exploring options and taking action becomes a reality. A reality. Because you can take action based on all this. Now, if you just go out and take action and you don't have a strong core, let's say you don't have self-awareness, and you haven't defined your needs, values, and beliefs, and you're taking action, what kind of action are you taking? Where does the action lead? What's the basis of the action? What does it even mean? And that's where people create meaningless lives. That's where people just start doing things because they think they should do things. That's where people just take a job because they want money. And they start doing things that aren't really true to themselves. And when we do that consistently, we eventually wind up in a place of extreme unhappiness. And when we're in a place of extreme unhappiness, what happens? Everything crumbles. The whole castle that was built from cards or sand just crumbles. It gets blown over or washed away by the water. It crumbles and reveals what it really is. It's something that was built on nothing. But if we take the time to become self-aware, to get to know who we are and how we want to fit into this world and how we want to contribute. More importantly, we help our clients do that. And we have our needs and values and beliefs in orders, and we have all of those met. Everything's in order and everything's been met. Everything's okay. We have our basic needs met. We understand our values and beliefs, religious or otherwise. Then we can reach out and explore options and take action. For example, starting a business or taking a particular job or joining a cause or choosing a partner or what have you. Then we can expand out with a strong core. But if we have no core, if we haven't taken the time to develop a core, then we are literally empty inside. We're literally void inside. And if anyone takes the time to look inside, they'll see that. They'll see a vast emptiness. And how do they see that? By probing us a little bit, by saying, well, what do you believe in? Yourself? What is yourself about? They tend to look inside. People eventually want to get to know somebody. So always work on this with yourself first. And with those clients who are up for it, I want you to work on that with them, developing them from the inside out. Many times when you step on the scene, this will have all crumbled because they built one of those castles made of cards or sand, and it all just crumbled or got washed away because they didn't take the time to build from the inside out. Always help them do that. The fourth circle moving outward would be empowering questions. Empowering questions. Sometimes we take the time to become aware of ourselves and figure out what we want to do. We figure out our needs and values and beliefs, and we have our needs met. We have our values and beliefs in order. And then we start exploring options. We reach out into the world. We take action. We set up a business. We have a partner. We do all sorts of things. We join a cause, etc. But then we get to that point where we need to ask empowering questions. And your clients are going to be at this point also. They need to ask empowering questions. For example, what's next? Let me take you through my story so that you'll understand how this all works, how all these pieces fit together now that we have them all established. First of all, when I became a hypnotherapist, it was very early on. I was a teenager. I was in high school. And I became aware. I became self-aware at that point. Not that I became some kind of guru or yogi or something and started floating around or anything like that. That's not how self-awareness happens. But I realized that I wanted to help other people. I was a shy kid. I didn't have a lot going on in terms of really anything. I wasn't really much into academics, really wasn't much into athletics. I played intramural volleyball, and in ninth grade, I was in a wrestling team, but didn't do so great. So around 10th grade, I discovered hypnosis. And I realized, wait a minute, this is what I need. I need to work on myself. I need to get myself out there, and I can help other people also. That was the self-awareness moment for me. Luckily, it happened early on. My needs, values, and beliefs, well, I had a need for stability. I had a need to make money. I believed in God. I valued honesty, and I valued helping people. So all that fit into place. Then I explored the options and took action. I got myself an education in psychology and in education so that I was able to educate others about how to do what I do. I also learned hypnosis more thoroughly, learned neurolinguistic programming, life coaching, etc. So I explored my options and I took action. Then came a series of moments in my life where I had to ask empowering questions. For example, what do I want to do next? How do I want to build this thing bigger and help more people? So I started organizations. I started the American University of Neurolinguistic Programming. I started the American Alliance of Hypnotists. I started organizations. The empowering questions led me to empowering decisions. And that's where you want to get your clients, where they're asking empowering questions, and you can lead them on the path to making empowering decisions that are going to set them up for the next powerful step in their lives. And this never ends. The empowering questions keep on coming, and the empowering answers keep moving them forward.